Hi everybody, I'm Mike and this is Half Step Theory, and today we're going to take a look at the CAGED system. I'm just going to cover the basics right now, what the CAGED system is and how to use it to find chords up and down the neck. Okay, so by this point I'm hoping that everybody knows their open chords, the basic C chord, A chord, G chord, E chord, and the D chord. These are all major chords. Should be there's some of the first chords that people learn when they're first learning how to play guitar. So what I want you to pay attention to is the shapes of the chords. So if you take the C chord, for example, you have in the open position you have your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. On the 2nd fret of the 4th string, you have your middle finger, and then way down on the 2nd string in the 1st fret, you have your pointer finger, right? And that's the C chord. And this is also the C shape. So what I want you to do now is switch your ring finger with your pinky, and then your middle finger with your ring finger, and then on the 1st fret, 2nd string there, I want you to put your middle finger. So now you're making the same chord but with 3 different fingers, and you have your pointer finger open. So move that up 1 fret and then take this pointer finger and kind of bar it across those open strings down there. You've got the 1st string and the 3rd string are both open. So if you bar it across those two, you create this C sharp chord. If you move that up again, you have a D chord. So you're just taking this C shape and moving it up. It becomes a movable chord. Now some of you may have already seen the bar chords. The most common ones you see are the A shape, and it's the A shape because you're basically just making, a lot of people make their A like this, or I've seen some people do it like this, but it's just these 3 strings here, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string in your 2nd fret. You bar all those and then you strum from the 5th string on down, and that's your an open A chord. So this open A chord, if you bar it with your ring finger and then move it up a fret and then bar from the 1st string to the 5th string with your pointer finger, you get this, which is another movable chord shape. That's the A shape. The G, most people make the G like this. 3rd fret on the 6th string and the 1st string. So like this, and then your middle finger, and then on the 2nd fret on the 5th string, you use your pointer finger. If you switch this around and use your pinky on the 1st string, your ring finger on the 6th string, and on the 5th string you use your middle finger, then you have this finger open, and you slide that up a fret, and this is kind of a stretch here to get this one, and then you bar across these 3 open strings on the 1st fret. And it is tough to get this one sounding right. Move it up, move it up, move it up. So you're making a bar chord out of the G. So we've gone through C, A, G. What do you think's next? The E shape. So you make an open E chord, E major chord. If you swap these fingers around, make it with these 3 fingers, move it up, and bar it. Now this time, your bar needs to cover all the strings on your 1st finger there, because your root is on the 6th string and on the 1st string. So but you make a movable shape. So we got C, we've got the A shape, we got the G shape, we got the E shape, and what's left is the D shape. So if you take these 3 fingers, swap them out, slide that D up 1 fret, and then bar back here. Now you don't need to hit your top 2 strings here. You just need to hit the bottom 4. The strings 1 through 4. And then move that up. That's your D shape, movable chord. It gets easier as you get towards the smaller frets, but then eventually it gets harder again too down here. But so you have these shapes, movable chord shapes. But check this out. This is the part where the CAGED system really comes in handy. If you start the open position with the C chord, and you find your root, which is here on the 5th string, 3rd fret, you replace that root with your first finger and do your A shape from there. And that's a C chord. So if we take this and do the G chord next, so here's what we need to do. We find our root. We got one root here, and then there's another root. Whoops, right here. That's a root for the G. But then you also have a G here and a G here. Well, it's not a G, it's a C. But it's the G shape that we're using. So that's a C. So do you see how this is working out? C, A, G, E, D. And then back to the C shape, which is really tough to make down here. It's a little easier when you're standing, but I do these lessons sitting down. So this is where it's really interesting, because now you can take that same CAGED and you can find whatever chords you want to find, as long as you remember that that's the order they connect in. This is C, A, G, E, and D. You can simplify this D by doing this here. You don't hit that first string. This is for people who are beginning. I mean, obviously I look like a beginner here, but I need to be practicing that more, is realistically what needs to happen. But you can just hit these and you get that same, if you want to make the full shape, you can, and you should, but for simplicity's sake, for beginners, you could just hit those and you get the basic same chord. So that's what this CAGED system is used for. It's a way to help you identify different chords around or all over the fretboard. So let's say we're using the C shape here. Our root is on the D note right there on the 5th string on the 5th fret. So that's a D, right? So if we remember that sequence, C, A, that's a D, right? Play the open D, and gauge that right alongside that A shape. Gauge it right alongside that C shape. These are all D chords. The E shape, and then back to the D shape, which is, everything repeats at the 12th fret. So you see how you can use that to find chords all over the fretboard. So that's what I wanted to cover in this lesson. You can play around with this as much as you want. Try to get your fingers really used to making the full chord shape. It's really hard for that G shape because there's a good stretch making that G shape. And also for the D shape, because it gets pretty tight, the E and the A are going to be probably the easiest ones to get the hang of. But practice making all of them for sure, and just use this information to your advantage. In future lessons, I'm going to try to cover the finding every chord with these shapes, or at least every major, and eventually we'll cover some minor chords as well. But that's it for right now. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to the CAGED system, and hopefully you can start using this today to go up and down the fretboard and start finding new positions for chords, so you're not just stuck in these open cowboy chords that some people call them. So anyway, that's it for today. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Click the bell icon if you want to get notified every time I upload something new. And I do have a Patreon page. The link is down in the description. There's also some software down in the description that I use to kind of help me, that has helped me start learning the scales better, and intervals and stuff like that. And also with some pick and speed, which I'm still working on that. So check the links down in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.